Kushi, I was actually hoping that nobody would start watching the channel until a couple minutes in because I'm not actually uh for a few minutes before I start doing the OS development stuff. Um, I'm trying to figure out some interesting like bash things because I came across like this article today that had actually, I can show it. So I was trying to figure out like oh wait, can you see it? Oh, I switched the scene. Okay, there we go. So what I wanted to know is that I wanted to know how to like I was just writing a script, and in order to do that, I needed to remove the file suffix and path from a string in Bash, and then the answer involved like using this kind of thing and like this stuff, and I've never used anything like that before. I mean, the only obviously I've used like, oh, by the way, is it still lagging? Because if it's lagging now, then that may be an issue. Let me turn on the stream and see what's going on. Um, so the stream is unwatchable because is it the video that's bad or my voice that's bad? Like, hang on, while true. How does this work while true? Do echo something. Wait, one. Does that not work? Oh. Oh no. Maybe I'm thinking of sleep. I'm just doing this to see if the stream looks laggy. So Cushy, I don't know if you're still here, but when I'm watching the stream, like one, two, it seems not. Oh yeah, yeah. So John's saying something similar. I don't know what it is. I'm guessing it wasn't like this before. I don't know if you're still here, if it's unwatchable. I definitely don't want you to watch something that's unwatchable. Although TBH, for some reason, my computer is being like extra hot today. Like the fan normally like I mean I can normally hear the fan when I'm streaming because it is like doing a lot of work, but today it's like a jet engine and I have no clue why that is. So when you mentioned that it was lagging, I was worried that like something's going on in my CPU can't encode the video fast enough. But it doesn't look that bad right now. Although I still don't know why it's so um yeah, whatever. Okay. Anyways, so I'm super happy that all of you guys are coming in at the beginning of the stream. I was actually expecting for people not to show up until a bit later. So I was going to be doing some messing around before then. So just so it happens that today I was just trying to write a script that involved needing to do this. And in the answer, I can't because what I was planning on doing is that I was planning on doing some sort of like regex thing or maybe like awk, but I was trying to see if there was a way to like to do it in bash. So I came across the answer here and I was really surprised like and I saw that the answer involved like this stuff and this and I've never seen anything like that before. So that really intrigued me right before I was about to come home from class. So that's when I saw this. Um so I've never seen anything like I've obviously used like shell like variables before. So I've done like basic dollar stuff and I've done like, I've done h equals I've done like this before and I've done like and I've done some like basic like basic does that not work? I thought that would print out everything between like why did that print out like all the numbers and then the I actually thought that was that was a thing. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay. Well, I've definitely used it for like numbers, obviously. I know this will definitely work. So I've used like this before, but I haven't seen like using. Oh, can I just want to make sure everybody can see what I'm doing. Yeah, but I've never seen it like the regex sort of like thing here. So I Googled it and I saw this little this thing here that's like a guide or like, bash guide for beginners. I was hoping I wasn't a beginner, but apparently I am because I don't know this. Why is my internet slow right now? You know, this is weird because okay, if I can't load that page in like a millisecond, then that probably does mean that you guys might be having some trouble connecting. Um, okay, anyways, so I came across this and I've just been going through this to try to like figure out how to do variables and stuff in or how to do like the more advanced sorts of things in Bash. So I'm gonna go through this and then I'm gonna work on my OS. So if you guys let's stick around and let's do this. And this is actually nice, like trying to learn things like with the chat, because then that way, like, you know, if I get lost on something, we can try to figure that out. So one of the things that I came across is that now I'm just messing with variables. So I learned like this, right? So if you guys didn't know, right, how can you show all of your current bash variables, right? That's a so um so one way that you can do this for a certain type of bash variable, that's called an environment variable, which are the variables that you know that if I start a program in the shell, they can there are certain variables that when I make a new program, those new programs will inherit those variables from the shell. So those are called environment variables, and you can list all of those types of variables like this. So all of these things will be exported to like the child processes, I think. But there's different kinds of variables because if I make a variable called, um, hello equals like 3, right? And then if I do env, you'll see that like that doesn't come up because this variable will not be made. This won't be passed to a child. So one way I guess you could also do that is just do this and then echo hello. So if I do echo hello, you know what? I actually am getting some slowness in my terminal, which is like really strange because obviously terminal's supposed to run very fast. And I don't know why that's going on today because I've been doing a lot harder stuff while streaming before. Anyways, so here I can do echo hello equals 3, right? And then you'll see that if I do, right? I don't, oh, what the? Okay, I actually thought that that wouldn't be passed on. Oh, you know what? I think I might be getting expanded in here, right? Because if hello's getting expanded before sh is run, then chat, does that make sense? Oh, you said set? Oh, does that work? I didn't know about that. Well, I know you could do set. Oh, that's just, okay. Well, that also works too. So I've been learning about like brace expansion, right? And so you can, again, if you need to know the value of a variable, right, you can just use like the $sign, right, and then the variable name. And what ideally you would like to do, right, is let's say you wanted to know all the variables that started with like each, right? How could you do that? So you would probably do like, okay, I'll just do echo h star, right? And then that says 3 star. Um, oh, wait. Oh, wait. Man, this really sucks because that wasn't supposed to work. Wait. Oh, that's very interesting. Okay, I was expecting that to happen. All right, ignore the H thing for a second, and I'll explain why this happened. So the reason for that is because I'm trying to get all the variables that start with B, but instead right? What the star is doing is that it's not expanding all the B's. It's actually expanding all of the um it's not expanding all the B's. Instead, it's making star, right? And it's expanding all of those. So this is actually a cool thing because in my Linux from scratch environment, um ls, the tool that you use to list everything in a directory, is not what's called a shell built in, which means that it's actually like a program, right? So you can have bash without ls, which sounds crazy, right? But technically it's possible to have bash without ls. And when I first went into bash, I didn't have ls. So the way that I navigated, right? Because how can you navigate without ls? Well, you can do echo star, right? And that will just list everything in there, right? Because the star, if you know bash, that just expands to, if you don't have anything on either side of it, it'll just expand to mean everything in your directory. So if I do echo, so what's happening here, right, is that if I do echo b star, right, it's expanding $B, which means nothing, right? So $B means nothing, and then it's just star, right? So then echo b star is just going to print out everything. It's just going to be the same as like ls. When you would, but what you would want it to do is that you would want it to print out everything that starts with b, right? Oh, you know what? I know why. I know why this happened. I must have. Did I define h to be a thing? Oh, I did. Okay, that's why. So I've made hello and h the same thing. So when I did echo $H, it was like 3, and then that was that was surprising to me. Okay, so if I wanted to find out everything that started with he, right? I would want to do echo he star. Please don't work. Okay, good. So that doesn't work. What I can. So how could I do this? So this is one of the examples of brace expansion I saw. So what you can do, and I haven't learned why this works yet, and that's what I'm going through this guide for. So what I can do is that if I do echo this, right, and let's say I wanted to know all of the variables that like start with s, right, this will print all those out, right? So this will print out the names of all of the shell variables that start with s. So there you go. That, I thought this was pretty cool, right? Or if I was going to do he, right, this would print out, that variable. And that's really, or, so to go back to that initial question, right, what do you do if you want to know all of your current shell variables? You could just do this, right? And what? Hang on. Wait, why doesn't that work? I did this before the stream started, and it worked there. So this is sort of surprising to me. Yeah, so this will output the previous command. Yeah, so that's another good thing, is that bang bang will be the previous command. This should print out the names of all the shell variables, and it's not. Because like what I was doing is that, so I'm going through this and trying to figure, yeah, there's like simultaneously a bunch of things that I've used bits of in bash, but I've never actually put them all together. So one of them is like variable expansion, right? So I've done that before, so I can do echo h, right? I've done that before. I've done brace expansion before, so I've done that before. And I've done like history expansion. So if I do echo bang bang, that'll just echo the last command, right? As you can see here. That's what Jay was saying. But I've never like put those three together before. Like, I'm actually, like, Oh, that works. Okay, because that's where I used it before. That's very weird. Because why doesn't echo work? No, okay, so Jay, what you're saying is you probably print out the vars in your history. Echo. Well, won't this just echo my last command? Yeah, so that's not what I want to do. What I want to do is that I want to just print out every single shell variable I have. And I can, so now I definitely want help from the chat because what's weird is that if I do echo, right, S star, this will print out all the shell variables that start with S. So you would think that if I do echo this, it would print out all the variables like period that starts with anything, right? Um, what does this do? I don't understand. Oh, will that print out all the commands that like start with that? So if I do like, echo, I haven't done anything that starts with S, but I guess like L. No, I don't know what, because, oh, you know what? You probably weren't here earlier when I discussed like why that doesn't work, right? So, but yeah, if I do ls and then do echo L star, I don't know exactly what you're trying to do there, but anyways, it's weird that this doesn't work, right? You'd think that that would work, like, because I can put in a letter here, or what's something like that? E. That's probably gotta be, yeah. And then what's extra weird is that what I learned about, like while reading this, like I actually started reading this and then I was like, oh, why didn't I stream it? That could be interesting. So what I learned here is that you can print out, another way to print out all of the current variables is that, so John gave a good example, set. I didn't know that. Another way is that you can do declare p, right? And what declare p will do is that will, say all, whatever you, oh geez, I'm not thinking right now. So what declare p does is that it shows all of the variables that you have and like the options associated with them. And then, so if you want to declare a variable read only, what you can do is that you can do like declare r, and then I need some names, right? Foo equals. Can you give me a minute?
Supper time.
Okay, I'll be down in a few. So if you do something, sorry about that. My brother is telling me that we're eating dinner now, although I'm not that hungry. So you can do this to declare a read-only variable. So then if I try to say foo is equal to, foo, right? Gives an, oh, see, John, you're the best. Okay, man says names matching prefix expands in it. But shouldn't it? Okay, thank you so much, John. That's actually like, that's really like perfect. Like that's so cool that like that you were able to help with that. So yeah, this is super useful. Okay, so the one syntax that you said. All right, I got to do a pro streamer thing real quick. So this syntax, right? That's the one that I just used, right? And this expands it into whose name begins with prefix, right? But you would think, oh, if there's no prefix, then it should just think of it as like anything, you know? Separated by the first character of the IFS special variable. Okay, makes sense. When at is used and the expansion appears with double quotes, each variable name expands to a separate word. I don't know what that means. Is that like if you have variables that are like multiple names long or something? Um, Anyway, so you can't change these read-only variables. Right? And you can list all the read-only variables if you do like actually wait, I'm trying to remember. Read-only oh, and an equivalent way of doing declare -r is to use the command read-only. So I can also say read-only bar is equal to bar, right? And now if I say bar is equal to foo, right, it'll say you can't change it. So, and you can list all the read-only variables by just doing a similar thing, read-only p, like that. Oh, thank you. See, I'm trying to be pro streamer, but I'm not. All right, so um, thanks again, John. You're the man. So this here, where is it? Oh yeah. So another way to do that is with the read-only, right? So read-only something is equivalent to declare -r, right? And then if you try to change something, it'll say read-only. And you can actually show that read-only and declare -r is the same, because if you do read-only print, it prints out how you declared each of the read-only variables. And you can see that behind the scenes when you do read-only, it actually does declare -r like in the background. So that's interesting. So, all right, let's see what else. So these are constants. So that's kind of cool. All right, so next are array variables. So creating arrays. So now I'm going through this, this is new. I read that first chapter before I started streaming. Now this is, okay, so an array is a variable containing multiple values. Got it. Any variable may be used as an array. Cool. There is no maximum limit to the size of an array, nor any requirement that member variables be indexed or assigned contiguously. What? They don't have to be contiguous. So does that mean you could like set like r of 0 is equal to like 1, and then just set array of like r7 is equal to something, and then just like, and then not have to have things in between? That's cool. I mean, that's sort of like what's it called? That's sort of like dictionaries or associative arrays, where you can, but you do need, it does have to be an integer, right? So I guess it's different than a dictionary in that case. Anyways, arrays are zero based, of course. Indirect declaration is done using the following syntax to declare a variable that must evaluate to a positive number. So technically, even saying arrays are zero based doesn't make any. Oh, unless you can increment it. Never mind. But like, if you can put any integer inside of an array, I mean, you could just say the order is whatever you want, as long as it's none, as long as it's not negative. Okay, so array. So yeah, so I can just declare a new array and say array of 7 is equal to value. And then if I do echo array of 7, uh-oh. Okay, you know what? I'll keep reading. Jumping ahead here. There's probably another way to dereference it. Oh, or do I have to use the curly things? Is that it? Nice. Look at that. See, I just guessed that. So look at the noggin on this one. Okay. The index NR is treated as an arithmetic expression that must evaluate to a positive number. Explicit declaration of an array is done using the declare built-in, so declare A. Declaration with an index number will also be accepted, but the index number will be ignored. But then how can you set it equal to values, right? How could you do an equivalent? How could you use the declare keyword and do something like this if values will be ignored? Attributes to the array may be specified using the declare and read-only built-ins. Attributes apply to all arrays, apply to all variables in an array. You can't have mixed arrays. Array variables may also be created using compound assignments. So array is value. So r is equal to 1, and it's not commas, it's spaces, right? Hi, -3. Actually, that's a good question. So if I do R, so that just prints out like the 0th one, which I guess is sort of like the C way of doing it, right? So if I do echo R, 3. Okay, lit. Each value is then in the form of index number equals string. Index number equals, what the heck does that mean? No, I know. I completely agree with you, John. Um, like if I'm it's just like something I feel like I should know. But the thing is that maybe it's not that important to know this stuff since I've been doing like bash and like terminal programming for years and and whenever I've gotten to the point that I need an array, I'll like switch to Python or like Perl or like Ruby. Like there's options, but like I'll just like reflexively like when something gets more like when something gets to this sort of level where I'm doing like these curly bracket exclamation mark like whenever I've gotten to the point where I've needed to do like this kind of thing, I've never gotten here before because I've always just like switched to a better language, but I feel like again it's like a thing you should know, you know? Or at least something you should learn at one point. So I'm trying to figure this out right now. What does that mean? Each value is in the form of index number equals string. Like, can I just print out the whole array? No, that just prints out the first one. So how can you tell the form that it's in? I guess you could do echo like r star. No. What? Okay, I'll get to that. It's probably gonna. Oh no, I use the curly brackets. I could probably do this, right? Does that do it? There you go. And then what if you just did this? That would just do that. And then if you did r star, that's a bad substitution. Don't ask me why. And then what does at do? We mentioned at, so that appears to be the same. I'm guessing the difference is going to come about in what you were saying, John, in that man thing that you posted, where it's like maybe if they have spaces in it, like or whatever the IFR is, IFS internal field separate. Yeah, so whatever the IFS is, I guess if there's an IFS in one of these variables, that's the difference between at and star. Am I wrong? Well, we will find out hopefully. So each value is then of the form index number. Okay. The index number is optional if it displayed the index is assigned to it. Otherwise, the index of the element is the number of the last index that was assigned plus 1. That is so cool. Wait, what? Each value. So if I do R, how many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I want to add a new one, I could do. Ah, shoot. I have a call coming in. 1 second. Hello? Hey, what's up? Sure. Sounds good. I didn't. I was probably being a piece of shit. Sorry. Yeah, hanging in there. Um, I haven't been there that much. I've been there a couple times. I sometimes drop by for pizza, and it seems okay. There's a lot of freshmen this year, which is something. Like there's like all the meetings this year are like very packed. Yeah, yeah. Okay, sounds good. I was thinking of Kelsey that she might want to come. Not, not really. Yeah, All right, sounds good. All right, bye. All right, I'm back. Okay, so anyways, if I say array of 5, why do they? Okay, I think this is a typo, right? Shouldn't the equal sign be like on the? That's what was getting me confused reading this over and over again because it seems like here you put the equals like outside of it. So R5 is equal to 6. So now if I do this again, I'll get that. But what does this mean? That like if it is supplied like this, does that mean if I do R is equal to 7? No, that just changes the first element. But I thought it's saying that if you don't assign a value, or if you don't put an index in, I was actually expecting this would happen. I was expecting, since like if R normally just prints out the first one, then doing this would replace the first one. But that's why I was confused when I saw this. Um, oh, is this talking about when you declare a new array like this? So if you do, okay, so I need names, guys. R2 is equal to, and then you could do something like, what, 0 equals, what the heck? Does this make, okay, so the 0 one is going to be equal to A, and then the fifth one is equal to B. Is this going to work? Or I'll just make it 7. So that. No, okay, that didn't do what I wanted it to do. Because he's saying each value is then in the form of this, right? Maybe if I declare it like what are the brackets for? Maybe the brackets are like 0 equals A. This probably isn't going to work, right? This doesn't make any sense. Yeah. No, but what I'm confused about is that it's saying here that you could manually put in, when you declare an array, right? You could specify the index numbers if you want. Um, but it looks like what this is talking about, right? What I was expecting to happen here is that I was expecting this to print out a, I was expecting to this for this to print out A7B, right? I wanted this to print out A7B because I figured that this would be setting the 0th element of R2 to A, the first element to 7, and then the fifth one to B, and then printing that would then just print that in order. Because what it looks like it's saying here is that when you declare an array like this, it's possible to specify the values. Like I'd specify the indexes. Do I want to like dig more into this and see what's going on? Or do I want to just move on? Each value is like, what are you talking about? Like this part here. Because it's saying the index number is optional, but I don't even know how you can, like, how do you specify an index number at all? Hang on one second.
Yeah. Louis? When is it? When is it? Okay, fine.
All right, guys, this has been a really awesome stream. Glad we got so much done. Just kidding. So it's dinner now, and my parents really want me to come down. So I guess I'm gonna have to hop off now, and maybe I'll try streaming later. But yeah, sorry this was like super duper short. Yeah, this is so today would be my fourth day ever streaming. So I'm very new to this. But if I have learned one thing from watching people on Twitch, it's that you got to shill whenever possible. So if you guys would hit me with a follow, if you're not following already, that would be super cool, and I'd appreciate it a lot. Um, and if you do follow, you will get a nice little animation. So I'm looking at you, Jay, since I think you're the only other person here. See, so now I'm putting the yes, that's what I'm talking about. All right. Thanks again. See you guys. I don't know if I'll be able to stream again tonight, but hopefully like tomorrow or something. Um, and oh wait, let's raid somebody, which I like doing. What was the who did I raid last time? I like them. Um, I think the channel was because if you guys like programming stuff, right? If you want to see what a real programmer looks like and what a real programmer does, this is the man right here. All right, so go watch him, be amazed, and I will see you guys either tonight or tomorrow.